Welcome to Bedhampton Church. Contact us at www.bedhampton.church. But for now, let's continue that journey with this input.
The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. That's from the book, The Art of War. Only the dead have ever seen the end of war. That is Plato. God created war so that the Americans could learn geography. It was Mark Twain of his own fellow friends. I make no claim to the accuracy of those quotes. They are simply the results of a Google I did the other day as I began to reflect upon Remembrance Day. It's a daft question, but nevertheless I typed into my search, why go to war? It came out of my ignorance as a man who has never seen conflict up front and personal, but as someone who has seen the devastation that can be inflicted upon an individual who makes the sacrifice to go into conflict. With the repercussions on many individuals' mental health and the possibility of death, and for some, the ultimate sacrifice, why would anyone say, count me in, I will serve? I wonder if you've ever found yourself exploring that question as you look around. Have you pondered why men and women would make that sacrifice? And as I said, some, the ultimate sacrifice. Of course, we know at the heart of that question is the truth that no one would choose to go into conflict, given a choice. And no doubt this morning, as we explore this for a moment, we will find out that those that do so out of some sort of inner call to service. So let's turn to our Bible readings, the one read so well from the book of Hebrews by Nigel. It reminds us that people like me, priests, stand up here and speak words of service and sacrifice week in and week out. We speak words of forgiveness, and it can mean absolutely zero. It can have no impact whatsoever, were it not for the fact that Jesus hung on the cross, gave that ultimate sacrifice. It was him who did the work of relationship and forgiveness, him that drew us closer to God as he hung upon that cross. It was him that saved the world for you and I, for all who sit in this room today. St. Paul, who is the author of that reading that was read so well, reminds us that whilst we have little impact on that action, we do have a response to that action, a response to that love, when he says, let us consider how we may spur one another on towards love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together, as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another. And so our response is to serve. It's not to grab all we can in this world, which the media will tell you it is. It's not to look out for only those who look like us. It's not to build up material treasures and wealth here on this earth that will vanish into the wind the moment we leave this planet. No, that is not our response. In fact, the psalm that Susie read calls out a false god. Those who run after other gods, it says, will suffer more and more. If we seek to respond to such sacrifice and love in that way for ourselves, we will find we have wasted such sacrifice. No, our response is to take the example of Jesus himself and others who have served down throughout the centuries to the present day. Those who seek not to serve themselves, but to serve others, from the ultimate example in Jesus hung upon the cross, down to the men and women of more recent years who have served us. We serve not because it will get us 1 inch closer to God. That love is freely given, but because it's the right response to such sacrifice and love. That's why they went to war. That's why they went to conflict. Because protecting the weaker from the oppressor is a right response to such love, and it's what we are called to do. So as we come to the end of this time, as I reflect, what is our response then in 2021? What is our response to the men and women who put away false gods, who sacrificed so that we might actually be free to encourage one another? Again, the psalmist read by Susie says, "I will praise the Lord who counsels me. Even at night, my heart instructs me. I will always keep my eyes on the Lord. With him at my right hand, I will not be shaken. Therefore, my heart is glad and my tongue rejoices. My body also will rest secure." Of course, I would suggest that is a wonderful response to any sacrifice, to praise our God for those who have sacrificed. And of course, it's what we do here today. But it doesn't stand alone. There is also a call to action in our Hebrews reading from St. Paul. Spur one another onwards to love and good deeds. You see, we could simply turn up here year in, year out with wonderful displays and wearing our poppies. Or we could actually fight for a world that they sacrificed for. The same world that Jesus died on the cross for. A world where we see God's kingdom come here in Bedhampton, where we serve one another. And so my question for you today, and as I point a finger, of course, you know there's 4 pointing back at me, so I ask myself the same question on this Remembrance Day, is how will you serve? How will you serve others as a response to the sacrifice that Jesus gave? And how will you serve as a response to the sacrifice that other men and women gave? How will we serve?
You have been listening to Bedhampton Church. Our prayer is that this helps you journey with Jesus and serve your community by sharing God's love and friendship. Subscribe and join us for more discussion at www.bedhampton.church. All material Creative Commons copyright. Contact us for more details.